Welcome to the ADD Catastrophe, new and improved, yet still the most distracted talk show on the internet. I'm Stephen Whitten.
And I'm Ryan Ramsey, and we'll be right back after I zoot riot, roll back. And we're back. Thank you so much for being with us this week on the ADD Catastrophe. This week we're talking about a movie that was recently released on YouTube called Ragamuffin. It is the story of a Christian singer-songwriter named Rich Mullins. Now, Rich Mullins was a little bit different back in the 80s and 90s as far as a singer went, a Christian songwriter went. He kind of went against the grain of the industry. He was one of the writers who wrote songs like Awesome God, Sing Your Praise to the Lord, Step by Step. And if you are familiar at all with the Christian music industry, you're familiar with these songs. Amy Grant was one of the big stars that sang for his songs. So he, throughout the movie, he in his life, he challenged the authority of the Christian music industry, saying when they told him they wanted him to dress differently, talk differently, act differently, sing differently, all that stuff, he fought that, which really raised some questions in me, and one that I really would like to talk with you about. Being both guys who grew up in Christian families, Christian homes, and around Christian music all of our lives, what is the point of the Christian music industry is the question, because as we see in the Rich Mullins movie, it seems to be that the point of the Christian music industry is to sell records, which comes into conflict. So go ahead. What do you think?
Well, ultimately, I think the point of any business, again, is to make money, right?
Right.
So music labels are a business. Mm-hmm. Now, their medium or their way of making money just happens to be music, artists, that kind of style. So there's nothing wrong with making money, right? But when it comes to when you add that little adjective on there, Christian music, when you add that on there, it comes with a certain gravitas. Mm-hmm. It comes with a mission, a statement. This is what we're wanting to do, and it's a good message with good music. That's how it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
And I think that's ultimately what the point of Christian music has always been, or should have always been. Unfortunately, through the Ragamuffin story, and then also other books and commentaries and everything that I've done over the years, realizing that the Christian music scene is not necessarily that way. Mm-hmm. They're bent more on making the money rather than making good messages.
Right.
So unfortunately, that's just how it is. In this movie, very well
highlights that.
Especially
in the early '90s, it was very. It was kind of extreme to the point where they had kind of almost like pop music is now, where they would have kind of a model or a cookie cutter thing, and they plugged in the different singers and the different songs, and then they made money selling that. So, You know what the nice thing is, though, Stephen, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but because of the change of the internet, and then even in secular music kind of guided the way, you don't have to necessarily be a part of a label anymore to make it, because of self-publishing, self-distributing, and then self-recording, all that stuff. You can basically be your own boss with that, and then have the power to negotiate your terms with the company instead of being under their terms. So it's a interesting change. I think Rich Mullins would have really thrived in today's music environment.
Absolutely. I think
and
so
being
as well.
his own guy. I wish so many times that he wasn't killed in that car accident, and that we could have seen what would have happened with his life, because it looks like, and you'll see in the movie, it looks like he's killed about the time he's starting to kind of get it together.
Yeah.
He started to figure out kind of conquer his demons and to begin to kind of take on his own mission, and then he's killed. So you hate that, but that's what it is. So this next part, if you don't mind me kind of jumping on you here,
no, it's fine.
I would like to talk about, in theaters is a great movie that I haven't seen it yet. We're probably going to go see it soon, called War Room. And it's a Christian film. And so before it, somebody told me there's about 5 trailers for other Christian movies, which is great. But the question is, now that it's a Christian movie industry, it's kind of starting to bud and really flourish.
Right.
We've seen it with Facing the Giants and
Fireproof,
Courageous. And then
God's Not Dead.
Yeah,
it really.
And even the secular have done it with Passion of the Christ, Noah, One Night with the King. And you can obviously tell a clear difference between the movies.
Absolutely,
as far as how well the content represents the gospel or whatever. But what can the new Christian movie industry learn from the mistakes of the Christian music industry?
Well, obviously, okay, Hollywood is the same way when it comes to making money.
They're worse than
they are absolutely. I mean, like the music industry is not making any money. Well, not making a lot of money much anymore, and the movie industry is still making really, really big money, and that's always been their case. And you and I, over the course of the time that we've been doing this, we've really, butted heads about what the purpose of a movie is. And in my eyes, it is the executive's job to make money off of that movie. Now, again, like I said with the Christian music industry, when you put that little adjective, and it is an adjective in this sense of Christian movie, it's explaining what type of movie it is. You can't change that adjective at all, right?
Right.
The whole purpose of Christianity is to get out a certain message,
right,
and a good one at that. It's to love everyone in that sense. So that's, I think, if the Christian movie industry learns anything from the mistakes of the music industry, it is that to focus on that adjective,
right,
that Christian aspect of it, and not try to bridge the gap of making money. You're not in the movie industry to make money if you're a Christian movie maker. You're in the movie industry to get your message out to the masses.
Right. I think that's the thing. And we have disagreed in the past on stuff, and I do tend to disagree. I mean, obviously they're not going to make more movies if they don't ever make money. So ultimately, you have to at least pay for the movie.
Okay.
That's what I say. You have to at least make your money back, your investment back, so that you can go do another movie. And invest.
Actually, I would venture to say you need to make more than what you paid for it.
We can have this discussion another time, Stephen.
I'm just saying.
However, the ultimate purpose of a movie is to tell a story, which the gospel of Jesus Christ, gives the opportunity to tell a story, the best, greatest, most important story ever told. And so I think it should ultimately be the point of every Christian adjective movie, not necessarily to love everyone, but that there's the person of Jesus Christ and to tell that story. So I think what they can learn most from the Christian movie industry, could learn most from the Christian music industry, is to not lose sight of the point, the purpose. If they could follow Rich Mullins' story at all, it would be to make what you have to make. Rich Mullins only lived on the average American salary,
right,
and then he had his accountant give away all the rest of his earnings. He never actually knew how much he made when he died, because he made which now would probably be like $35,000 to $40,000 a year. He was making tons of money. So
he was making millions and millions of dollars off of the royalties and everything, and he just lived off of the portion that.
So for the movie industry, I would encourage them to follow that lead and to say it's not about the money. It's not about that. We, of course, want to make enough money to keep making movies, to keep spreading the gospel, but to not worry about that and not let it become about the money. So that would be my tip. Anything else from you want to add to this conversation?
Actually, no, that we kind of wrapped it up really nicely. I agree that, Hollywood, the Christian movie industry, should just pick up on the mistakes of the music industry, Christian music industry made, and not fall into that trap. And focus on that adjective. That's my advice.
All right. Well, that's it for us today on the ADD Catastrophe. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to add to the discussion, we really would like that. So could you comment below, and we'd love to hear what you have to say about our thoughts and about the Ragamuffin movie, or even War Room, what's going on with that. Also, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this video.
And if you have any questions, please hit us up on the various social medias at ADD Movie Show or email us at addmovieshow@gmail.com. Thank you again so much for watching this. I'm Stephen Witten.
And I'm Ryan Ramsey, and we'll see you again on the next Catastrophe.